Hello, my name is Swinas, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create custom material nodes for use in your materials. For this tutorial, it's just going to be a very simple color swap, and if you want to get straight to the code, as always, a link to the GitHub repo is in the description. First thing we need to do is we need to create a class that extends a material expression. And then to specify the input pin for the node, we create an fExpression input variable. And then to make this mandatory, you can set the required input meta tag to true. But for this, we're just going to keep it false because we are going to have another variable. This one is a variable you can set whenever you click on the node itself. And so if nothing's connected, we're going to use this. Now to make sure that things are connected properly, we're going to set the overriding input property meta tag on this variable. And this will also make sure that whenever something is connected to the input pin in the editor, you can't change the values for this variable. And we're fine with the default constructor. And then for a few editor only functions, these implement key functions that are part of the material expression interface. First off, we have the compile function. This is used, as you might have guessed, when the material is compiling. Now, compile preview is like the compile function, but for the preview image of the node. And then get caption is what shows up as the name for the node at the top of the node itself. Now over to the implementation. Now first off, we're in the constructor and we have this struct. And this is just for the menu categories below. And what it is, it's for whenever you right click somewhere on the material graph, and then you scroll through the list of various nodes to add. So this will put it under example material expressions. And then as you can see here with the editor only data, we have our menu categories, and then I've renamed the input variable. So this is what will show right next to the input pin. And then we have show inputs boolean, and there's a bunch of more booleans for various different things to show up on the node. And then we also set up our output pins. So first we need to reset it, and then we add a new expression output called result. So it'll show result right next to the pin, and we make sure it outputs all 4 channels. And then with our editor only stuff, we have our compile function. Now the way things work is you would call functions on the compiler and they return integers, and then you would use the integers returned as inputs into other compile functions, with the exception of a few of the functions like the constant for in the first line here. So what this does is basically like the constant value in the node graph itself. But what I'm doing here is I'm setting the input value to the vector that we can set by default. And then what I do is I'm checking if the example A input actually has a connection. So we do that by calling the get traced input on the variable and checking if expression equals null or not. So if it got a valid pointer, then I'm setting the input value to that connection. Then later on, what I'm doing is I'm splitting up all the channels using the component mask function, and it takes in the input value. So the input value would be expected to be a constant 4, and then I'm using these component masks then to split up into the 4 channels, and then I'm recombining them into a vector 4 again, but in a different order using the append vector function. And then you just output the result. And then below that, you can see the compile preview, which just calls the parent compile preview. And then we have the get caption, which adds a string to the out captions array. And that's pretty much it for a very basic material expression. Now what I'll show you next is what if you wanted to reference a texture asset. So if you had a render target, which I use, for example, in my plugin, or if you just had a texture that doesn't change that you still wanted to reference. So in this other class I've set up, the only thing different is I'm using a texture pointer instead of a vector. But then if we go down, I have in the editor only part, get input type. And this is used to coerce the input into a certain type. So for this, you can't throw in a vector 4, you'd have to throw in a texture object type. And I'll show you how that's set up next. And then this here is really important if you're using textures in the material node, is you need the can reference texture and get reference texture. Now the can reference texture needs to be set to return true if you can get a texture at all, like if it's possible. It doesn't matter if it's null or not, as long as it's possible to get it. And then the get reference texture then just returns the texture that we declared earlier. Now for the class itself, the constructor is pretty much the same, nothing all that different. Now before I go into the compile function, I'm going to go down to the input type. And as you can see, it's MCT texture / just an enum, and that coerces the input to be a texture object type. And so the very last part is the compile function. The first thing I'm doing is I'm getting the expression pointer. Same thing as before, get the trace input and then get the expression. And then if either or the texture input or the expression, like if there's something connected to the node or we set the texture manually on the node itself, we go through all that. Otherwise, at the very bottom, we throw a compiler error. Now this will output an error at the bottom of your node graph. So inside the function, if we have a valid texture, we have the texture code index and the sampler. Now these are both required if you're going to sample a texture. And then for each case, I show you how you can get the two values. After that, we create our texture coordinates and then we sample the texture itself. So we take our texture code index, our coordinates and our sampler, and then we get the texture out of that. And we can pass that into our component masks and then like before, just append it all after we split it up. And that is that. If you found the tutorial useful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any suggestions or feedback, please give me a comment. Always appreciate any and all feedback. And as always, thank you for watching.